Hey guys, it's Austin again. I haven't done a video for quite a long time, but I have a bunch of new headphones now, and the first one I'm going to start with in this video is actually going to be this little guy who's actually making the rounds now in HeadFi and on Mass Drop. People are starting to recognize it. It is the Philips SHP9500. It goes for about, I think, $160, but you can find it now for about $40 to $60 online. And for that amount of money, I think you'll get one of the most neutral set of headphones you'll find, sub like $200. Personally, with this guy, what would I compare it to? Well, I guess to me, first hearing this, really reminded me of maybe like the K601 the first time I heard it. It's super clean, it's pretty neutral with maybe a hint of warmth in the mid-range. Bass tends to be a little rolled off and there's not a lot of impact, but it's very tight and there is some body there. But I tell you, man, I don't know what it is with Philips recently, but they're coming out with a lot of good crap. Like this guy, he came out of nowhere, like nobody knew about this thing. And people started getting it and all of a sudden, oh, it's good, and I think it is good. $60, it's a steal to me. I mean, I don't know what's up with Philips recently, but I was blown away by this when I first heard it. For this price, I've never heard anything so neutral, so clean sounding. And what's really cool is that a lot of times when you get to the cheaper headphones that are supposed to be neutral, like some of the KRKs, well, those are supposed to be more like analytical for monitoring, but still, they tend to get brighter. And this one is a bright headphone. It has quite a bit of treble, but it is not harsh. It rolls off, it seems like very slightly way up top. I hear no sibilance with it. There's no edginess. There's a nice amount of air to the treble. Mids are, I wouldn't say lean. If you're used to a warm headphone, these are probably going to turn you off because they're so clean sounding. Like the mids, they have body to them, but it's not a lot. That's what I was going to think about, like the K601, how it has some good mid-range body, but it's still pretty lean and it's detailed. That's what I kind of get from this. But I'm going to be as bold to say with this headphone so far, from what I can hear, I'm going to put it up there in maybe $150 plus range worth of sound quality I'm getting from this thing. It is incredibly, I can't even put it into words, I'm just so blown away by it so far. Oh, I totally skipped the bass. Forget about that, I'm going to talk about the bass now. The bass is very quick and very tight. Think kind of like DT880 bass, but it's not as textured as that. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. It certainly has a little bit more impact than DT880 bass, but it still has a good fair of extension. Now, I don't have an 880 to compare to, but I'd say it's similar based off my memory. The build of this headphone is really nice. It has a plastic headband up here. It has a nice amount of padding to this part here. The ear pads, I'm not sure what kind of foam they're made out of, maybe like a memory foam, but they're super squishy. And it's actually a really big opening inside of the ear pad, so people with big ears can fit in there nicely. It's mostly plastic construction. There is some metal in the headband adjustments. I've read online that there is some defects with the headband. Like most people say the left side is loose. Mine's pretty loose up to a point, like maybe an inch and a half out, and then it starts clicking into place. But once you have it on your head, it's not going to go anywhere. One thing I really like about Philips headphones is that the cable is detachable. So right now I'm actually using, I'm not using a stock cable. I had issues with it and it was way too long. I'm using some, it's U-green cables from Amazon. They're about, I think, $6 for a 2-pack of these 6-foot cables. And I've been using it for this. I am going to make a new cable for it though and try that out and see how that goes. But so far the U-green cable is better. Oh, I totally skipped it, but they're open back. So a lot of sound really leaks out. I mean, like I thought Grottos leaked a lot. These leak way more than the Grottos do. You can clearly hear everything if you walk by. Like my brother's using these, and I thought he had speakers on in his room. It was just the headphones. Like, that's how much leaks out of these. But there is a big trade-off for that for you, is that because of that, they're probably one of the smoothest headphones in the range. A lot of times the open back ones I've heard are pretty harsh, like the Cost UR55. I know it's like a $40 headphone, but that one's pretty... It doesn't sound open as the presentation. It's supposed to be open, but it sounds more like closed to me. How they get the... how do you say it? The treble's kind of edgy on it, but I can't compare that. It's different. It's a different type of headphone altogether, I guess, in a way, like price bracket wise. But you know what I mean. If you've heard closed and open, there's like a certain tonality to like a closed headphone and an open headphone, and this has like one of the most open sounds I've heard in a headphone, like almost like HD600 open, and that's a pretty big claim to make, in my opinion. Since we're on that subject, is this as good as the HD600? No, it's nowhere near in the same league. But I would say that if you were to like throw it up with like $150 headphones, well, something you can compare to $150, like the Sennheiser HD598s and that, I'd say this would be right up there. In fact, I actually prefer this to those headphones. I used to have the 595s in the past, and I loved them, and then I had the 555s, and I had the HD 485s. I like this the most out of all of them. Now, it is up to preference. I mean, you may not agree that they're in this range, but I think that this is really a knockout. And now, too, I've seen them all being severely discounted online, so I don't know if they're discontinuing them or what, but I know that there was a mass drop for these for $60, and I believe it was on Newegg where they were $40 for a little bit. So I'd recommend that if you can get them. I don't know if they're going to have production, but just grab a pair to try out. These are easily one of the best headphones I've heard in a while, especially from Philips. I mean, I forget his name, but he's from the channel The Z Reviews. But he was blown away. Where am I going? I'm going totally off tangent now, and I lost my train of thought. That shows how I don't rehearse any of these videos. They're all on the fly. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Sorry about that, but I will, whenever I remember what it is, I'm going to post a little update to this. Like I said, like the gears were simply, they just locked into place. So I can't remember. But I will definitely get back to whatever I was talking about with the Z Reviews. Eventually. You know, because I'm jumping all over the place, I forgot to talk about amping. These don't need an amp, but I found that pairing them with a warmer amp, like I use it with the Violectric V200, which I know is vastly overkill for these headphones. $60 headphones and a $1,000 amp is way overkill, but it does help. Like the smooth highs of that really come into here and helps fill in the bass, and mid-range fills out really good. But you can get away with using like the FIO, like the E12. I think that's a Kilimanjaro. The Mont Blanc is probably a little bit overkill for this thing. But even like the Shit Modi is more than enough for it. This thing does not require much power. I think I've rambled about this headphone enough already. You can tell I'm gushing on it. It is really that good, and I recommend that you guys do try it out. That's it for this video. I do have a couple more coming up now. I'm going to be talking about the X2, the UR55, the Pro 4S, and I have them all right down here. Is that it? That is it, actually. So, until the next video, guys, you have a good day. Bye.